What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. Today's video, we are cracking open the Spice Cabinet with the new update, and we are going to be taking a look at a team just made for Shadow Venomoth. I wanted to make this thing work as soon as I saw that I got Psywave. I have a Shadow, I have a Hundo, I have a non-Shadow for Great League. I wanted to test this thing out here and just have some fun in the early ranks while we were just kind of letting the meta settle. But with this Pokemon, I feel like as a poison type, it cores perfectly well with Guzzlord for the most part here. Obviously, there will be some things here and there that kind of break it up, but for the most part, I feel like Venomoth and Guzzlord are as good of a core for this thing as you can get. And on the safe swap, I'm going to be using my Shadow Steelix with Thunderfang, as I needed to have something that had play against Morpeko that also didn't completely lose to other things that Venomoth might have issues with. So we went ahead and go out with a Steelix here, and this team was a lot of fun here to run. So let's get into these battles and check out Venomoth in the Great League, and we get our first game here against the nemesis himself, Morpeko. Now, I did play 3 sets with this team. I recorded all 3 of them and played the last 2 here on the video. But if you guys want to go check out the first set of just complete and utter nonsense teams, as you usually see in the rank ones of the season, feel free to go check out the stream, the live stream. We put the VODs up every time we stream just to make sure that they're there for anybody who wants to go check them out. But we're going to be able to go for Psychic Fangs and dominate this matchup. Now, the opponent comes in with their Wigglytuff. They're running a Wigglytuff Morpeko core. Of course they are, right? At least it's not on my Guzzlord, which means they don't have another answer for my Steelix, which is totally fine. I need to get the opponent... I needed to get the opponent away, like their Morpeko away from my Venomoth, and now I have the option to lock it onto Guzzlord, which is perfect here. And all I have to do is find a way to get around the Sand Slash. So I'm going to save 2 of my shields. I'm going to let Venomoth come in. Look how much damage the Psywaves are doing. Like, those are resisted Psywaves. They did 5 Powder Snows. I'm hoping that I can live this. They go for the Ice Punch. We narrowly live it, and we're going to just last second go for the Bug Buzz. If we can make this Bug Buzz, we should be able to do enough resisted damage to knock it out, and we do, which means Guzzlord is happily now feasting on this Morpeko's soul, and I'm going to let this go. If they're running Outrage, so be it, but I don't think they are. They're not running Aura Wheel. They're going to be able to get nowhere with this Morpeko, and we're able to flip switch and handle this thing. Venomoth, I'm not going to lie to y'all. This is basically 10 games where Venomoth, it gets completely hard countered and the rest of the team carries it, but Venomoth finds a way. All right, strap in because these are fun battles and you guys are going to enjoy them. Next game up, we got Venomoth into a Dusclops. Yeah, this thing can have Fire Punch, and I'm kind of scared of it, not going to lie. Plus, it completely walls my my Dark types. I probably should have gone, or it walls my Venomoth, I should say, but I don't know. Opponent top lefts. So either they didn't want to be in the video, or other possibility, they got something they had to do and they had to leave. So the opponent has Jirachi. Any Psychic type on the lead is not great here. We're going to safe switch into the Steelix. Opponent gives us a ton of energy and then brings in an Azumarill for us to feast on. Steelix with Thunderfang is absolutely happy to see this here. We're going to be able to just rip and tear through this thing and have no problem flipping switch, which is fine with me. Because I would like to get Guzzlord, even though I know that the Jirachi has access to Dazzling Gleam, I would rather have my Dark type against the Confusion user than my Bug type with Poison typing. So we're going to be able to narrowly get that matchup here, and we're going to be able to land a Crunch, or the opponent shields this up. Maybe they assume that we're running Earthquake and they know we're not at it. Crunch is nearly going to knock out the Jirachi, though, and the opponent not going to be able to get anywhere with that Confusion down, and in comes a Charizard. Guzzlord comes in here, and the opponent pretty much knows it's over and concedes, so well played to them. More meta teams coming up, I promise. We're kind of sifting away from the stuff that was just, you know, whatever people had or were having fun. I saw a lot more, like, hard meta teams after this first couple of battles here. So Poison Fang will do significant resisted damage, even though it is a Poison Fang. That is enough to bring it into the half HP range, and I can always let this move go because Ariados has no damage here that is going to be able to do much. They're going to come in with a Furret, and I'm going to bring in my Guzzlord. Guzzlord walls this thing unless it has Swift or Brick Break, which it probably will have Swift, but I'm not worried about it. Trailblaze is going to do resisted damage. Opponent is going to continue to go for their moves here. I would have just gone for Swift, but I think what they're trying to do is get a shield out of me, and they know that the way to get a shield out of me is probably by going for a boosted Swift, and they're right. I'm going to shield the boosted Swift because I need to get switch advantage here if I can, because I am just like, I would be very happy to see what they come in with as their third here, if I can. Otherwise, if the Ariados comes back in, they're going to have to take a lot of damage in the process. We're taking out the Furret, and if the opponent comes in with the Ariados, we're in a good spot. And they come in with the Unova and Stunfisk. This is painful. This is difficult, but we're going to try and run through it as best we can. We still have a shield here. The opponent is going to be able to get to a move, and they do very nicely throw it right before we get to our next Brutal Swing. I'm going to shield. I need to get rid of this thing. I need to. Opponent's coming with the Ariados, and that is going to be a mistake for them. Not that they knew any better, but because we have Steelix in the back, we can just simply lock this down, go for the full farm down, apply debuffs or crunches into the opponent, and they're going to go for the lunge, get the debuff. That's fine. They're going to go for another move. I didn't think they were at enough. They were at a cross poison, which is only 4 stings. We're going to go for the crunch here before the Ufisk can get to its next move. I believe they were at 8 when they threw. And we're going to be able to get the crunch off. Opponent is going to have to throw here before we get to the move, and they do. And the extra energy here, unfortunately, doesn't seem like it's going to do them very much good. Venomoth should be able to farm down if it needs to, and I'm going to let it have the chance. Opponent does go for the move, though. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get the farm down, but we tried. But we can now go for Guzzlord here, let him farm down the opponent's Ufisk, and we're going to be able to take that game. Well played. I'm looking forward to trying Ufisk. It's something that is very interesting to me. Opponent has a Jumpluff in the next game, and this is a deceptively good matchup for the Venomoth because we can go for the Poison Fang here. They would basically have to throw Aerial Ace or Acrobatics in order to take us out here. So they don't throw right away. They're going to go for the Poison Fang. I'm going to go for 2 more Psywaves and dip into Steelix, hoping to catch the Acrobatics, as it is 7 Fairy Winds to that move. It is just Aerial Ace, but that's fine. Opponent coming in with a Lapras here, and Thunder Fang Steelix is all too happy to oblige this Lapras. I'm going to let this go. I want to test this. I want to test the Sparkling Aria. How much does it do? Does enough. That's going to be a pretty good chunk of damage. But because we have Psywave, we're able to resist the Psywaves, the Steel typing, and be able to put a lot of pressure on this Lapras to throw another move. Now, I have to keep Venomoth away from the Psywave users because of that poison typing and the fact that it's actually made of wet tissue paper. It will actually just get completely farmed down there. So I don't want to give it a chance to lose switch here and be locked against a potential thing that might be a problem for it. So I'm going to just go ahead and shield, get switch advantage, and be able to get 2 moves in against this Jumpluff, which is trying to farm me down, which is fine because we can just bring in our Guzzlord here to absorb the energy. Even though it's taking double super effective from the Fairy Winds, they have energy, they're going to throw it. Opponent has a Toxapex. In the amount of time it takes for them to get to 1 move, we have already almost completely deleted half their health bar. So I'm going to shield up the Brine. We're going to go for a Bug Buzz here because I want to go for raw damage. Poison Fang, there's really no point in going for it. I can farm down if I land this Bug Buzz, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Going to get the farm down, going for the Poison Fang immediately to get that shield, and the opponent's Jumpluff is unfortunately just going to get overwhelmed by the amount of energy and damage that we have here, and they're just going to go ahead and let that go. Well played to the opponent. And we pop off for a 5-0 with Venomoth getting into the next set here. Venomoth against Guzzlord. Terrible, terrible matchup for me to play. And we're going to go straight into Steelix here. Even though this isn't a good matchup for Steelix, it's better for Steelix than it is for Venomoth, for the simple fact that we don't want to be doing double resisted move damage. Like, I would rather do single resisted than double resisted, and the opponent's Dragon Tails would just rip through my Venomoth. So I'm happy that they're staying in this matchup as well. It means they may not have an answer to Steelix. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for a Psychic Fangs after getting a ton of energy. I'm hoping that maybe they respect an Earthquake. They don't. That's fine. I'm going to go for a Crunch now. At least I can go for a debuffed, a defensively debuffed Crunch here and do a fair amount of damage, and then maybe my Guzzlord can farm down later. We're going to go for the second Crunch, though. The opponent does not throw. They are just letting us get there. They overfarm by just a little bit too much and are forced to shield. So now at least we have shield parity. Opponent comes in with a Clodsire, and I'm like, dude, if I'm going to put my Venomoth anywhere, I guess I'm going to put it here. So we are going to come in with the Venomoth here, and we're just going to be going for the farm that we can get to. Now, the opponent, however, throws, and I thought this was 6, so I know shield. It's a Stone Edge. I thought it was 6, not 7. Oh, well, it is what it is. We're not going to be able to get to this Bug Buzz. We go down with the move, and unfortunately, that is going to be painful. It is now Guzzlord is going to have to carry this whole team on its back. Guzzlord's going to come in here and is going to no-shield this move. If it's an Earthquake, so be it. If it's Stone Edge, so be it. Doesn't matter to me. And the opponent now comes in with their Guzzlord, and they are not able to get their energy in. They must have over-tapped or something, and they're going to come back in with the Clodsire. I'm going to go for this Brutal Swing here to try and neutralize the Clodsire before we can get to another move, and hope that whatever's in the back we can deal with. Opponent not able to get to another move to get farmed down here. What's in the back? They're going to have that Lapras. Lapras with Sparkling Aria and possibly Ice Beam. I go for an attempted catch here, but unfortunately it is not to be. Opponent farms on my Steelix. Now I have a call to make. Does the Sparkling Aria knock out? I have to call this. It's the Ice Beam. Doesn't matter. We get completely knocked out. Opponent goes for that Ice Beam and wins. Good game. The failed catch attempt was really my problem. I probably should have just stayed in there, and I might have been able to overwhelm the Lapras at some point, but we're going to be throwing ourselves into another match here where we're going to get hard countered in the lead because Lapras with Psywave is just impressive into Venomoth, and I'm really not liking that matchup. So we do have two technically better answers in the back. Guzzlord does very well against these Psywave users, and the opponent has a Sableye in the back. They're going to be going for foul play here. It is now straight 5 to foul play with the new pacing. But I can go for crunches here, and my Thunder Fangs are adding up just as much as their Shadow Claws are. So Crunch going to do a lot of damage, but they decide to shield it, which is fine with me. I'm going to be able to get to the next Crunch before they can get to the next foul play, which is very good for me. So we're going to go for this Crunch. They let it go. Not shielding here is huge. I'm going to let this go. Venomoth can farm this down. It can, and I'm going to let it. Gonna get that farm down with the Venomoth, even though it's double resisted, that's still good. And then we're gonna be able to come in with Guzzlord here, and the opponent has the Lapras, and in the back they're gonna have Mandibuzz. So this is an Air Slash Mandibuzz. If they were on Snarl, this would be a much better matchup for Guzzlord, but unfortunately, they have Air Slash, so we do have to worry about the fast move damage as well. So I'm going to be going for these Sludge Bombs, and what I'm going to hope to do here is, since they have the Lapras, I should be able to just save the shield for the Lapras. Now, the opponent has 2 moves. This is all Aerial Aces. They are, however, going to have to respect this damage on the Sludge Bomb, and I have very little HP left on my Guzzlord. Hopefully, we can make something happen. Remember, the Psywaves are double resisted. The opponent, however, is going to end up living that Brutal Swing, and they don't shield it. I should have just thrown the Sludge Bomb, but we're going to be able to go for a Poison Fang here, and that's going to not get a shield. The opponent now in dire straits. They're looking to go for 2 moves potentially, but they're not going to get there because the pacing and the damage from Venomoth is insane. And if this Mandibuzz doesn't have a move, we might be able to Psywave it down. Sparkling Aria gets my shield. I'm going to go ahead and farm down. Can we get the farm down before they can take us out with the Air Slash? The answer is yes. Venomoth is goated. The entire team was strong. The whole team was strong to Venomoth, but we took it. Next game, another terrible lead. We're going to be going straight to the Steelix again, and then the opponent's Blastoise does get to a Hydro Cannon here, and I have to respect it. I don't know why I hesitated for a moment. I wasn't sure I don't know what moves or anything has, man, but the opponent now has Mightyena, and I'm going to go for a Psychic Fangs, doing a debuff. I probably should have just gone for the Crunch anyway, but I figure if my Psychic Fangs get a guaranteed debuff, and then I can go for the Crunch, that might be helpful. The opponent usually runs Crunch and Poison Fang, so I can let this first move go, but again, opponent is incredibly strong so far into Venomoth. This is not something that I would do anything other than just have some fun with, to be completely honest with y'all. I'm going to be forced now to come in with my Guzzlord and get this farm down, and that's exactly what I'm going to try to do here. The opponent has Poison Fang. I'm going to let this go. I know it's not going to have any impact here on my Guzzlord's HP bar. We're going to get this farm down and see what the opponent has in the back. Are they going to bring in the... No, they're going to bring in Lapras. So the opponent is running ABA Water here with the Blastoise, but they're not going to be able to outpace Venomoth, and that is where Venomoth has a very strong amount of play, is in the Psywave Poison Fang combo. So the opponent throws this energy. I'm going to have to let this go. My win condition is going to be with Guzzlord up a shield. We do have a ton of energy on the Guzzlord available, and the opponent's not going to be able... Never mind a lie, they're going to get to a move, but it's just a Hydro Cannon. I know this isn't an Ice Beam. It wasn't enough. They are not going to be able to get the farm down here with this Lapras because Psywave is double resisted, doing very, very close to nothing. Might even heal the Guzzlord if we watch long enough. And the opponent is not going to be able to get to 2 charge moves here. We just get to the Brutal Swing. Honestly, I was thinking about going for just double Sludge Bomb, but after seeing how much damage those Dragon Tails did, we could just go for the Brutal Swing here and knock them out. That's going to be a good game. Well played to the opponent. Triple strong into Venomoth. Doesn't matter. Got him anyway. Good game. Guzzlord is goated. Guzzlord really is, like, so good with Venomoth. Honestly. Another Lapras lead. It's like they just exist to cause me pain. Opponent comes in with an Annihilate here, and we are probably going to get a shield from at least one of these Psychic Fangs, because if we don't, we will actually be able to win this matchup. Now, we're doing increased damage with the Thunder Fangs. Opponent is just going to go for either an Ice Punch or a Rage Fist here. Either one is fine with me. Venomoth can farm this down quite nicely. I'm kind of hoping I get a shield here. It's going to be up to the opponent if they want to get switch advantage. And honestly, if they give me switch here, I'm fine with it. And they do. They don't shield. They're going to save 2 shields for whatever's in the back. But Lapras up against Guzzlord is a really good matchup for Guzzlord now, because they have to land the Ice Beam. So I'm going to be going for a move here. I'm going to try to get the Brutal Swing in, but they do have enough energy to go for an Ice Beam right off the bat. But they're running Skull Bash. So they did not want to spend the Elite TM, which you do need an Elite TM to get Lapras to have Ice Beam. So they just opted to go for Skull Bash, which is fine. I don't see a need to go for, you know, all that extra resource investment right now early season until you figure out, hey, I need Ice Beam. Then you figure it out. But the opponent clearly staying in here is not appreciating this Guzzlord, so I am going to go ahead and shield up here. I don't want to take a chance that I'm going to get a I don't want to have a chance of my Guzzlord not being healthy enough to deal with whatever's in the back. So they have a Galarian Corsola in the back. We're going to go for the Brutal Swing here, get the shield, and then I should be able to go for another Brutal Swing, but the opponent gets the Power Gem. They do get their one before I would. That's going to be 5 Astonishes, and that's going to do quite a lot of damage. What I'm going to do here is throw this Brutal Swing. Opponent through 1. They're going to have to be able to get to another move, but I should be able to pace to a Poison Fang before the opponent can get 4 more Astonishes in, and we do. Poison Fang is going to be able to get to the, Psywave is going to get us to the Poison Fang. Poison Fang is going to get the HP off of this Corsola, just enough damage, and the opponent does not have any energy. They're going to go down. Lapras not being able to hang on. Good game. Everybody's triple strung to Venomoth, but somehow it finds a way. Once again, terrible lead. Jirachi, go to Steelix, see what happens. Watch what happens. Oh, in comes Politoed. Well, I mean, great, I guess. They have Mudshot, right? So we're gonna just go for Thunderfangs. I need to flip switch. They throw very soon. Like, I don't think that this is even a Scald or anything. It's got to be a Weather Ball, but it's a Surf. Surf is going to do quite a bit of damage, but we are going to be able to farm down and get switch. Huge. I was like, if this is just a cheat move, we're totally fine here. Guzzlord is so happy that this Wigglytuff is now on the field. We lock the Venomoth onto the Wigglytuff, and the opponent is going to have their Jirachi locked on to this Guzzlord, and they are not going to have a good time. We're going to go for the Brutal Swing, but the opponent makes it to the move first. We're going to shield up in case it is the Dazzling Gleam. I cannot afford to get one shot. They will confusion me down. We are going to go for the Brutal Swing here after one more Dragon Tail. Get a little bit of energy and damage in. Brutal Swing. Will it get the shield? Opponent just lets it go, and we're going to farm down. We can get to a Sludge Bomb, hopefully, against this Wigglytuff before they can fully charm us down. 4 more charms would have been it, but we get there in 3. We're going to either get a shield or do a ton of damage to the Wigglytuff, and I will take a Wigglytuff smash any day of the week. Just delete this thing from the game. Please. I hate looking at Wigglytuff. I know I used it, and it was good. I just hate it, though, objectively, as a thing in this Go Battle League. It is cancerous, and I hate it. But we're going to be able to shield the Icy Wind, and that's not going to save them from the Poison Fang that comes after. Venomoth taking that game, finally found its target. Wigglytuff going down to the Poison Fang. Well played to the opponents here. Really, really tough games against some good teams against the opponents. They're all trying out the new stuff, as you should be in this early season. We get the 4-1 to lock in for a 9-1 run with this team. We did 5-0. We went a total of 14-1 with this team, but like the first 5 games were all just nonsense anyway. So I had a lot of fun with Venomoth. Let me know in the comments what your favorite update from this season was, because mine was definitely Venomoth. Objectively, it's bad, but it's so much fun to run, so I got to enjoy it. Anyway, that's going to do it for me for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.